the 1991 World Series, the Atlanta Braves and the Minnesota Twins, was brought to you by Texaco, by Wendy's, by Georgia Power Good Sense Program. Good Sense saves you energy and money. By Sherwin-Williams.
It's wild. We just all of Chattanooga, really. I mean, they have T-shirts that they're selling everywhere.
Yeah.
And tomahawks. You can't even find a tomahawk anymore.
I was at a sports bar tonight, and I was sitting with some friends from Cleveland,
Right.
and there was another guy from Charlotte there, and I looked at it, I said, are there a lot of Braves fans in Charlotte? The guy from Cleveland popped up and said, hey, we've got Braves fans in Cleveland, man.
That's right.
I think for some reason, other than perhaps Minnesota, I think the Braves really are America's team.
Yeah, I do too.
For some reason, Minnesota thinks they've got a lock on it, but I know many people in the Midwest are rooting for the Braves.
Yeah, my dad is from South Dakota, and he loves the Braves.
South Dakota loves the Braves, and we ought to take a poll tonight. How many states? It'll be like Reagan winning the landslide in '84.
It would be, I'm
You know,
sure.
the only state that would go with Dukakis was going to be, or the district was Washington, D.C. Well, we'll say the only state that goes with Minnesota will be their home state.
Yeah.
Everybody else is going to be a Brave state. I think that sounds, I can dig it. I can handle that.
Good to me.
Thanks, Kimberly.
Go Braves.
All right, Rob in Decatur, you're on AM-750 WSB in Westminster. We're just making it wide open, but obviously the Braves are the story right now.
Well, amigo, is this utopia or what?
Man, are you the guy?
Yeah,
You're the guy.
What did I tell you, buddy? And I also told you, I said, what was going to happen? Who hit the home run for the Mets? Who never hit a home run in his life? Al Weiss, a shortstop. What happened with Lemke? Almost knocked it out of the park, right?
Listen, single, double, triple. He had the game-winning hit last night. Could he? Now, I'm just asking, Rob, before you answer this question.
All right, don't get real Iowa. Go ahead.
I'll give you Jeopardy time to think about it.
All right.
Before you answer this question, could Mark Lemke be the series MVP?
All right. Truthfully, from the heart, I'll tell you who I think deserves the MVP.
Well, again, we're just speculating here.
Okay.
We have.
Could he be? I guess so. I mean, the sports writers vote on it, right, Wes?
I think sports writers and casters, right.
Okay. My opinion, it's Greg Olson. There's no doubt about it.
I said to my friends at the table, and I said, he's the underrated player.
Oh, God. I mean, all the plays that don't go on the stat sheets, Wes, that you don't see. I mean, really, McCarver actually made one good statement tonight that I actually give him credit for, and I can't stand Tim McCarver. He said, well, because he was a catcher, but he goes, there's a lot of stuff that Olson's done that has not been put on a stat sheet. Now, if you look at some of the digs out of the dirt that he got, that Pena fastball last night, that was a wild pitch. He pulled it out and brought it back in. He's clutch hit every time. In fact, I think he's the number one hitter on the Braves when guys are on base for the whole championship series. Does this guy deserve something or what? He's clutched every game except for what? One
couple of innings. A couple of innings of a game. Or I can't remember. I heard Dave O'Brien say one night it's either 2 innings out of a game or maybe it was another game. Maybe it was the game after we clinched that Sunday game.
Okay, but I mean, how much can a guy play? What else can somebody do that Olsen hasn't done? Tell me.
I think you've made that point, and Lemke. Look at the guy. It was the unexpected players who are being the heroes.
Well, that's what I told you.
Not to take anything away from Dave Justice or Terry. I mean, Terry had a 154 batting average before he hit the homer tonight.
Right. And then when we first talked, I went to Pittsburgh, and you were saying, well, Rob, I don't know. It's going to be close. I said, look, I'm telling you.
Rob. Slap me here. Hit me right
here.
No,
I'm just...
Ow!
This is destiny. This team is destiny. It's going to go all the way. And the reason they're going to go all the way is they had to win tonight. They had to win this game.
Yeah, now this is the thing. We're 2-2. If we win tomorrow night...
they got it tomorrow. I'm telling you, they got it. I'll tell you right now, they're going to coast tomorrow.
Okay, does that mean we win the series?
Well, I'll tell you why. You're going to win the series, but one big play was made when Lonnie Smith came in tonight and Harper held that ball, which, by the way, was one hell of a play by Harper.
What a hit.
Unbelievable play by Harper to hold on to that ball.
What a hit by Lonnie.
God, yeah, it's like Lawrence Taylor hitting somebody on the Falcons,
It was hockey.
Yeah, unbelievable. Okay, he held on to that ball, so you got to give it to Harper. But when that run didn't come in and then Pendleton got tagged out right after that, okay, they came back and won the game still, okay? That team across the other locker room from the Braves is demoralized right now. Because in their mind, they should have won that game. They took everything away from the Braves. Every chance the Braves had to score, they stopped them. And then what happens? Lemke gets up just like Al Weiss did in the 1969 series against the Orioles. We're going to kick the Mets' butt all over the field. The Mets didn't have a chance. Weiss gets up, 9th inning, 2 outs, bang, nails a home run. The guy did a home run all year long. Lemke just about nailed it out.
Well, I tell you, again, it's like we said earlier, Rob, the unexpected players. And you did, man. For those who weren't listening a couple of weeks ago, this guy calls up, and he talks about the Mets in '69, and he starts drawing the correlation. And I said, Rob, you're really clutching here, but that's okay. I hope you're right. Rob, you call me back Monday night when we got a full show. We'll be sitting here reminiscing over the good old talk days.
I love you, brother. Take care, man. Go Braves. Let's do it for the town, huh?
All right. That's the phone number. It's 872-0750, 872-0750. And if you're listening to us in one of the 38 states that are probably all Brave states, I mean, you're all Brave states. Only Minnesota's pulling for the Twins. And I bet you there's some Braves fans there, too. You're closet Braves fans. That's what you're in the closet up there in Minnesota. You really haven't. You don't want to come out publicly and say you're for the Braves. So you're closet Braves fans in Minnesota. You can call us toll-free, 1-800-WSB-TALK. We had a microphone outside of the window. Right when the game ended, somebody was doing their Sam Kinison impersonation. That's what it sounded like here. Dan on a Bell South Mobile, where the calls, by the way, are free on the Bell South system. You're on AM-750 WSB, Dan.
Good thing, brother. Let me tell you something. The Braves and Maylocks, what a team. I got ulcers. I've been to the stadium for every playoff game in World Series. I got an ulcer just sitting there watching my kids.
It's all that fine food you're eating, Dan.
It's the hot dogs. Let me tell you, these guys got more heart, determination, and drive and chutzpah than any ball team I've ever seen play the game. They never give up. They're down. They come back. They play hard.
Yeah.
It's just been wonderful. I mean, just been wonderful.
Is this what's going to carry us?
I think I can't see,
Everybody's up. Everybody's optimistic right now. We're 2-2, and this is what I'm afraid of, okay? I'm afraid that if we and again, I'm just being objective. I'm not sure with Glavine pitching tonight or tomorrow night or tonight, if how you want to look at it.
Yeah.
When Glavine has pitched, our bats haven't been there.
Well, I tell you, they realize what they got. Every time they've been in a hole, they've come back and they've won. And I tell you what, you can't overlook the job Mike Stanton has done. He came in. You there?
I'm here.
Okay, I didn't know it was cut off.
No,
Look, he
okay.
pitched last night. He came in tonight. He pitched against all the right-handed batters they had. Even he pitched against the book. They should have had a lefty in there. They went with Stanton. He mowed him down. He did the same thing last night. You got to give him a lot of praise. And these guys like Lemke and Olsen, they got a lot of heart. And we'll be there again tomorrow night.
We're going to be there again. Let's just suppose here, Dan, for a moment. If we lose tomorrow night, we got to go back to Minnesota down a game.
Yeah.
Is it possible we can win 2 in Minnesota?
If anybody can, this team can.
I think you said it right there, my friend. Thank you. It's 12:17 with Westminster in the night. Right up until 1 o'clock when the Braves play. We stay on with you till 1 a.m. Normally, in fact, we start the full fall schedule starts Monday night at 9 o'clock out of Sports Talk. And we'll be normally 8 to midnight with you with some dynamite shows, including a show real soon. We'll talk with a man who spent the last few weeks with John Lennon. Those are some of the shows we got coming up. Also, an all-rap show. You know how much I can't... it's not that I can't stand it, but I really think rap music is a fad. We're going to talk with some people from Yo MTV Raps hopefully in the next couple of weeks, too. So the 8 to midnight hours are going to be hot here on AM-750 WSB.
Atlanta's Morning News with Scott Slade and the AM-750 WSB News team. Start each day with news, weather, and traffic. Plus, business news updates at 13 past the hour. WSB consumer advice expert Clark Howard has special reports at 38 minutes after every hour. Helpful information at the same time each hour. Atlanta's Morning News on AM-750 WSB. Depend on it.
I bet you this guy from Indiana is a Braves fan. John Mellencamp. And Westminster, AM-750 WSB meteorologist Kirk Mellish calls for things to be cloudy tonight with a low near 63 degrees. Later on today, it's going to be warming up to 75. In fact, the warm temps are on the way back. So is the possibility of some light rain. Morning fog when you get up from... It's bad. People are going home now from either being at the stadium, being at a friend's house, being out, watching the game, whatever. You're now going to be up for about an hour before you get to bed. Then you're going to get up later on this morning to go to work. Be expecting some fog and drizzle in the area, but later on, hopefully just cloudy and a high near 75. Right now, 66 in the city. Jackson, Georgia is where Mike is calling AM-750 WSB.
How about these Braves?
Man, what's going on over there in the home of the death penalty area?
Oh, man,
Mike?
we just rocking and rolling with that chair, baby.
I bet
Braves are
that
hot.
chair's just buzzing on its own, isn't it?
Yeah, buddy. I imagine it's going wide open about now. I tell you, man, these Braves, they're just unbelievable. And the Twins, they're in trouble, man, because our bats have yet to come alive.
Somebody said the heart and soul, and I think that's the major, the definitive phrase there is heart and soul. It's the fundamental difference between a team that, frankly, came into this ballpark. I'm talking to the Minnesota Twins now. I have nothing against. I like Minneapolis. It's a fine city. It's one of the cleanest cities in the country. I like Minnesota, but I'm going to tell you, let me finish this point real quick, Rick, or Mike, I'll let you speak. This is the point I'm saying. Minnesota Twins came in here cocky.
Yeah.
Did you notice when they introduced Herbeck the other night, how he gives that little smug look?
Now he can play.
I suppose he's trying to be the Darryl Strawberry of the American League. That's okay, all right? But he doesn't match up. And this entire ball club, with the exception perhaps of their coach, TK, who I do respect, they've got this smug, cocky attitude like, hey, man, we had a good record. You guys had to fight to the last. We had it in the basket way before. Well, they're learning how baseball is being played. And I really think they're getting an attitude adjustment right now.
I'll tell you, they got a good team. I mean, you got to give it to them. But these Braves, I mean, they won't quit. Our tough guys, a middle lineup order, they hadn't been coming through.
And look, isn't that the story of the whole season, man? The entire season is when one guy's out, when one side of the batting order is down, the other side kicks in.
I'm telling you, it's just unbelievable. Only thing, it seems to me that, not Gant, but Justice, it seems like he's getting a late start on some of these fly balls, does it, do you? Or...
Well, because of the slipping and the sliding that's going on, is that what you mean?
And just, not getting to the ball,
Well, I was waiting for the third night in a row for him not to communicate out in the outfield and drop one tonight, but fortunately, I don't know. It's hard to judge. You got the lights, you got everything else going on out there. We're not there.
Yeah.
But I will say this: he has redeemed himself with a lot of other things. Thanks, Mike. This is CJ in Blacksburg, Virginia, on AM-750 WSB.
Hey, Wes.
Hi.
Excuse me, I was eating.
Well, now, listen, Don Sutton does that on the radio. You can, too. Go right ahead. By the way, let me say this, because I think, we say this all the time, turn the TV volume down and turn up the radio. Now, maybe you can't get it all the time in Blacksburg, CJ, but down here with Don Sutton, with Skip, with Dave, with Pete, we have got, and I'm not saying that because they're on our radio, we have got the finest play-by-play guys.
Right.
When Don Sutton does color, I always learn something. And the CBS, Jack Buck's one of the dean sportscasters of all time, been doing it 30-plus years. But I really enjoy, and I actually learn something, and I'm entertained listening to these guys. So when I'm talking about Don, every now and then he'll talk about how he's hungry and everything. I'll hear him eating the peanuts or something like that. So you go right ahead, CJ.
Yeah,
join the elite club.
Great. In fact, that's one of the things I was going to mention later to your producer, but I'll just say it over the air. That you can't say enough about your announcing team.
They do a great job. They really do.
But a little thing, they kind of, if you just listen to the radio and the TV, seem to call the pitch before it reaches the plate.
Well, let me tell you what that is.
It's the delay, and
it's the satellite delay on television.
Right.
Right. That's all it is. You got.
Could y'all put in a little delay? I worked out the exact timing. It's between 45 and 50 hundredths of a second.
Is it really?
Yeah.
CJ?
You could put in that. I've got a little delay machine here.
You worked that out on your own in between innings or something? What?
Well, I've just been adjusting. It's been all the way through the playoffs. Musician, I got a digital delay.
Oh, do you?
And I can sync it up if
CJ?
I delay the radio by that much.
CJ, hold on. Hold on. We're going to put you on hold here and have a show of hands. How many people like CJ's idea? CJ, do you really want to know the results?
Hello?
Do you really want to know the results to the little vote I just took? No, you don't. Thanks for the call. Jim in Sugar Hill, you're on AM-750 WSB.
What a great night in Atlanta.
Man, it is. Oh,
I'm sitting here with chill bumps all over just from what's happened tonight.
Still?
Yeah.
The game's been over 40 minutes.
Just thinking about it. It's the thing about this team, and I think the reason that all of America is getting behind it, except for one area, is they have
right. There's
class.
only one state, Minnesota.
They've got class, though. The Minnesota came in here. Tom Kelly talks sarcastically about, we shouldn't even play. Everybody's playing up Avery.
Oh, I didn't hear him say that. Did he really?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I missed that.
He said, the way he put it was, Avery's so tough, he said, but CBS has sold some commercial time, and and there's a lot of sponsors that'd be really upset. So we'll just go up there and hope we don't get hurt.
Oh, I've always respected TK, and I didn't hear him say that. I will say majority of that team, though, represents a very arrogant, cocky attitude.
Dan Gladden, Kent Herbeck, they're all...
Well, what about this Neanderthal they had on the mound last night that didn't impress me at all?
Oh.
Scott, I like to wear black Erickson.
Well,
he had the black sweatbands, the black socks, the black glove.
That's it.
I was looking for the black paint under his eyes.
That's the thing about it. You know, they've thrown their two horses at us. Morris and Erickson are the guys that they could depend on all year long, and we got them. And they got Tappaney, I guess, coming up tomorrow night. You know, he's the third best in their rotation. You got to believe that the Braves are pumped up with what they've done, and tomorrow night could be the night that the bats finally come alive, and maybe we get Glavin some run support. So it's just incredible.
I appreciate your call, Jim.
Thanks, now.
From one Jim here in Georgia to another Jim in Moorhead, Kentucky, you're in the air.
Yeah, Wes, I heard what your show was tonight, and I just have a quick comment to make. I was working a little bit earlier, and I had the TV on to Star Trek, The New Generation.
Yes.
And they had some people that they had awakened from, back in our time, I guess it was, and they just awakened them in their time.
Yes.
And one of the comments that one of the guys had made was he was wondering how the Braves were doing.
I heard about this show.
You heard about that?
Somebody called me one day and said there was a special segment of the new Star Trek version that did something on I wonder how the Braves are doing.
Yeah, there was one of the guys was commenting to one of the others. He was wondering how the Braves were doing.
And that was on tonight?
That was on tonight.
And when were you watching this?
That was about 8 o'clock tonight.
Oh, so right before the game.
Yeah. So, if anyone can remember what the name of the show is or something, maybe you can watch for a rerun. And
I think that was a rerun because I think that's been played already this year because somebody called me one time on it, but maybe not.
But I figure when you make it on Star Trek The New Generation, you've made it to the big time then.
Yep, you sure have. So thanks for the call.
Hey, take care.
None of my friends tonight I was with said, I didn't know you were on entertainment tonight. Nobody knew I was on. Nobody knew. I mean, yeah, you hit a big, nobody knows, but you can hit Star Trek The Next Generation and everybody knows. Who saw the editorial or the reprint of Nick Coleman's column in the St. Paul Pioneer Press, Thursday, October 18th? I heard Ludlow talking about this morning. Some people calling. One of the paragraphs starts out, says here, this is this columnist from the Twin Cities, okay? By the way, somebody asked me, what does the TC on the sleeve mean? That's what that means, Twin Cities. I forgot to ask that person if he or she went to public school, though. The person that asked me that. Here's a paragraph in this guy's column. General Sherman had the right idea when he burned Atlanta to the ground, and it's a darn shame that the rednecks were allowed to rebuild their hovels. I will say this, I still like Minnesota, I still like the Twin Cities, but you won't find our columnists writing this way. You just won't. And I guess this represents, again, the kind of arrogant attitude that this team has on the bench. Okay, we can keep going here, right? We're going to cruise right through? Nope. Okay, this is Marty in Atlanta on AM-750 WSB.
Hey there.
Hi, Marty.
How are you? How about those Braves?
Go Braves, go Braves.
That was a great column. Let me tell you, I just heard that. That makes me have a new view of Minnesota.
There you go.
Question I have is...
It was reprinted, by the way, in the Constitution this morning, and I'm not sure if it was in the... I haven't seen my journal tonight, but I know it was in the Constitution this morning.
We shouldn't have even wasted the ink on that crap. But
well, that's it. I'm glad they... No, I tell you what, they need to print that because of what you just said.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
For the perspective.
Yeah, you're right, because it did shed a new light on it for me, and I've been following, but that's something that I never really noticed. The question I've got is about Tommy Gregg. Aside from, in the playoffs anyway, aside from last Monday, he really hadn't delivered in any of his situations.
Well,
Do you agree, or...
Yeah, I agree. They love to put him in those pinch hit situations. And he did he stare one down tonight and he got called out?
Yeah,
he did.
It was either the 8th or 9th inning. He didn't get on base. I know that.
Yeah,
and
I've seen him.
He never comes through except for last Monday, the playoff game we had here. He came through, and that was the only time I've seen it. And even towards the end of the season, he was literally miserable.
I've seen him just stare at strike three a lot this year.
Yeah, he's always called out on strike three.
Yeah,
it's almost that he's afraid to swing.
Bobby Cox must know something you and I do not know. I don't know what that is.
He's come out once, but other than that, I hadn't seen it. I was just making sure I wasn't missing something. And I just want to make one other comment. Last week, after one of the games, y'all were talking about the bias of the CBS commentators.
Mm-hmm.
Who's laughing now? That's all I got to say.
Thanks a lot for the call. The bias, I think, really comes down on the side of Tim McCarver. I don't, and I never have felt that Jack Buck was that biased. So some of you do, some of you, and you're entitled to that. But I have felt that, again, you compare the two color announcers that we have available to us, and on most of the innings of the play-by-play here, it's Don Sutton on the radio. And on TV, it's Tim McCarver. I'll tell you, friends, I learn a whole lot more when I listen to Don Sutton. AM-750 WSB in West Minter with you for another 30 minutes. If you'd like to be in, it's 872-0750 or toll-free 1-800-WSB. Talk. By the way, Jane and Teb were not doing the chop, but they were trying to be part of the chop in their motions, doing a leg slap, kind of like a back here, slapping their leg up and down this way. But you can't look there in your radio real close. You'll see me do this, slapping their leg in a vertical motion rather than the chop motion. Sorry, Jane doesn't wash.
Well, it's sort of a walking thing, but it ain't the stroll. It'll make you look stylish. It'll make you feel bold. If you can dig it, you can jig it all night long. So come on, everybody, now and sing along. Do the Bobby Cox Waddle, Bobby Cox Waddle. Do the Bobby Cox Waddle, Bobby Cox Waddle. Well, we're brave fans, and we'll do what peas in a bottle. Loosen up a little with the Bobby Cox Waddle. Do the Bobby Cox Waddle, Bobby Cox Waddle. I saw a pretty woman waddling down the street. I said, hey, sugar mama, what's that beat in your feet? She said, it's the latest craze that I'm here to say. I do the Bobby Cox Waddle every day. Well, if you're really gassing and you want to pop, you can add a little tomahawk chop. A chopping and a waddling is a sight you've never seen. But if you ever see it, it'll make you feel serene. Do the Bobby Cox Waddle, chop, Bobby Cox Waddle, chop. Do the Bobby Cox Waddle, chop, Bobby Cox Waddle. Well, we're brave fans, and we'll do a tease in a bottle. Loosen up a little with the Bobby Cox Waddle. Do the Bobby Cox Waddle, chop, Bobby Cox Waddle.
Wow, cool, man.
That's that Bobby Cox Waddle. Friends from Cleveland heard that. They wanted to hear that again. 872-0750 or toll-free 1-800-WSB Talk. By the way, in this week's U.S. News and World Report, their database section, which I love, that sidebar stuff, percentage of Americans who believe women have a better life than men. This is a topic for David Paul. In 1975, 28% of Americans thought women have a better life than men. In 1990, it's 22%. Percentage of women who say more money would make life better? 60%. 6 out of 10 women think more money would make life better. And what percent said that an improved sex life would make life better? No, you're right. You jump into conclusions. Only 3% said that an improved sex life would make life better. Ooh, Sandy Springs. Rick, you're in the air. Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Just great, man.
I'll tell you. The comparison that your viewer was mentioning about the 69 Mets is a valid one.
Yes, it is.
I came from the North originally and followed that 69 team. And his points about the young pitching, some of the old veterans, and no-name ball players contributing is definitely a valid point.
Good analogy.
I'll tell you, though, the CBS coverage is pretty poor. I have been listening to WSB for the sound. At least that way I get some relatively decent coverage.
And you get a good variety, too, because you're getting Pete, you're getting Dave, you're getting Skip.
Oh, you're getting everybody.
Don,
the only one that CBS has up there that has a semblance of knowing what he's talking about half the time is Ray Knight. He's the only one that's...
By the way, while you were bringing that up, I'm remembering they do radio as well with outside of here, their own radio network, and Vin Scully